Hey folks, I'm HP's Dr. Pink, and today's topic is easy guitar scales understanding. What is this about? The guitar is a cool instrument because the keys are not really a problem here, since you can move anything into any key just by moving it up or down on the fretboard. But this has a huge disadvantage when it comes to scales and understanding scales. You don't have any orientation on this terrible fretboard here because everything looks the same, everything feels the same. So I'm going to present the method special for guitar to understand scales the easy way, starting from the pentatonics, because the pentatonics is that scale which probably all of you learned first. So that's what it's about. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel for further updates about theory, scales, how to use scales and modes and stuff like that. Make sure you hit the notification button. And here we have the color blue. It's the color of wisdom, therefore check fart music if you're interested in that stuff. So let's get started now with scales. Now let's get started. The first scale most of you already know probably is the minor pentatonics in the root position. And this will be this one here. This is the A minor pentatonics in the root position here. The 5th fret, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8. So this is a scale. But what is a scale? A scale is a summary of notes in one row. And there are, you call this intervals. So you have a root note. This will be the root note here, because this is the A, that's the root note. Then the interval could be something like this, or below, or something like that. That's an interval, and they have names and not names. Let's say numbers. So this is the root is always the 1 because the 1 is where it starts. 1, and the minor pentatonics is a summary of intervals with from 1, flat 3, you write flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, and this is the 1 again. This is the same note, just 1 octave higher. So this is a scale with intervals: 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1. If you want to change an interval, let's take the flat 3. If you want to change it, you want to make it to a 3. Flat always means 1 down. That means 1 fret down. This would be a flat 3, and then you take this one. This will be the 2. If you take this, always related to the 1, this is flat 2. This one, the 2, could also be a if you want to move it up, this one could also be a sharp, so sharp 2. But since it's that's a little bit tricky part, it could be both. In this case, it's the flat 3. So 1, flat 3, 4. If you want to move this one up, it will be sharp 4, 5. If you want to move this up, it will be sharp 5, or 5 below, flat 5. That's the way you name intervals. So, but in this case, we have the A minor pentatonics, and we have the 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1. So this is the A minor pentatonics displayed as intervals, and they are always the same wherever you've played on the fretboard. That means if you play the pentatonics, let's say in this position, here, position 2, if you want to know the intervals, just search for the 1. In this case, it's here. Then here's the flat 3. Here's the 4, the 5, the flat 7, the 1, flat 3, 4. That's always the same everywhere on the fretboard. So your task is, of course, my method comes from the pentatonics, because that's the scale most of you learned first. You need to know the pentatonics by heart, also with the intervals: 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. And then you, if you have those numbers by heart and you can really point them out on the fretboard in the related position, then you can really start to work with all scales. And this, I'm going to show you how this works now. But before you get started with that, you need to really have your things together with the pentatonics, in this case the minor pentatonics. Later we're going to check out the major pentatonics as well. It's pretty much the same, just different numbers. But the method is always the same. You need to know the scale by heart, the position, how it looks like, and also the intervals. Why do we start with the pentatonic? The pentatonic is the, let's say, the original minor scale. All other minor scales are somehow in this minor pentatonic. So if you know all 5 positions of the minor pentatonic, you can extract the other minor scales from that one, and that I'm going to show you now how you do that. So what I just show it on the root position. All positions, that would be take like 3 hours to really show everything. Just root position and the very basic stuff. More stuff will come in later tutorials, so subscribe to my channel if you're interested in this stuff and this method. And at the beginning it's hard because you need to have these numbers in your head. But once you have it, everything gets easy and you have no limitations to patterns anymore on the fretboard. So again, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1. You can go in any positions, but I'm just staying on first position. Now the normal minor scale, or a scale or a mode, has 7 notes. Pentatonics, as the name is, has 5 notes. Now the normal minor scale will be Aeolian, or natural minor, is this one here. So probably you already know this pattern, but probably don't know the intervals. Now, as you can see, the pentatonics is already in this pattern. So there are only 2 notes which are additional. We're going to figure out which ones. This one here is additional. This is a 2. So you have 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5. Now this note as well. And this one, because the 5 is already occupied, this is the flat 6. Flat 6, so B6. Flat 6, flat 7, 1. So 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, 2, 3, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. So this is the Aeolian, or the natural minor scale, in combination with the minor pentatonics. So if you know where the 2 additional notes are, you know the pentatonic by heart in all positions. With the intervals, you just add these 2 notes and then you're ready to go. You just play like we go next position. I just adapted this additional note here to the scale. So that will be Aeolian. Next one, or there are the minor scales are somehow related a lot. Once you have the natural minor thing related, the other ones are just 1 note is different, or maximum 2 notes. But in this tutorial I just talk about the scales which only 1 note is different and makes a difference from the one mode to the other one. So the next related scale or mode would be Dorian. Dorian is this one here. It's pretty much the same, but here is something new. Probably heard it. All other notes are the same. So, since you already know the natural minor scale with the intervals, you just need to figure out what is the difference from this note to this note. Since you remember this was the flat 6 before, and now we have this one here, so this is not this flat 6 anymore, it's the 6. Why? Because it goes up a half step and then the flat just gets resolved. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. That will be Dorian. Yeah, so this is related to the other two scales as well. From the Aeolian, it's only one note is different. Now another minor mode is Phrygian. Phrygian is also related to the natural minor. We're going to play Phrygian now. Oh, sorry. You might have already found out there's one note which is different, and that will be this one here. The other ones are the same as Aeolian. This one here, we had before, we had this one 2, so this is a flat 2. Instead of a 2, we have a flat 2. 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. Yeah, so this is related to Aeolian in the way this is the 2 becomes a flat 2, and then you have Phrygian. So if you have any position where you know Aeolian, you just adapt that one note and then you go to Phrygian. It's more or less pretty simple, but probably a bit hard to understand until the coin drops. It takes a few minutes or maybe a few days, but the method is pretty simple. So these were the main minor scales. There are of course other ones: harmonic minor, melodic minor. Locrian is also a minor scale. We have Dorian. Flat 2 is also scale, a minor scale. Super Locrian, stuff like that. But we don't talk about this because if you don't get this together, you don't have no chance to understand the other stuff. And then we'll go more into jazzy stuff. So just the main root, the main minor scales are talked about here, which are related to each other. When you have to use them, going to be a topic of another tutorial, because it's really not such an easy topic. But first you need to understand how you can play those. Now we go to the major scales, the basic ones. First of all, you already know the minor pentatonics. Then when I play major, we switch from major and minor are related to each other, because every major scale has a parallel minor scale. And since the original music was always in minor, I talked about the minor first. But now we're checking out major, and this is going to be way easier because we don't have so many flats. So if you want to just do major pentatonics, A, you just move the pattern down, any pattern down 3 frets. And the root note is here, is of course now here. So it's the same pattern as here. But you're moving down, and now see, it's exactly the same pattern, but because we started here, it sounds totally different. And that's the magic of the intervals or of scales. Even you play the same notes or the same pattern, it sounds totally different because the sum of intervals is different. And now this is the A major pentatonics. Now we learn this here. What our intervals are here? We have of course the 1 again. Now 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. See, now we don't have so many flats and sharps and stuff. It's just numbers. Probably here it's a little bit easier to understand, but as I said, minor scales are first. Now if you want to play the normal major scale, It's in the major pentatonics as well, so this one here. This is the major scale, or Ionian. And the intervals are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. See, now it makes more sense because of straight numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So it's really simple now. Now, we have the major scale Ionian or the major pentatonics, and the major pentatonics is embed in the major scale. Now we also have other major scales or modes. The next one will be Mixolydian, and this sounds like is again only one note which is different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. How we make a 7 to a flat 7? That was a 7, move it down half fret. This will be this open string, and now we have it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. Now we have a Mixolydian scale. There's another major scale which is also related, that will be the Lydian scale. That will be this one here. Also one note which is different. 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 1, 5, 6, 7. So the sharp 4, here we have the 4. This was the 4, sharp goes 1 up. And it's a bit uncomfortable here, we take it here. Well, we could also take it here if you want. You probably already have noticed it's pretty much the same pattern as Dorian before. It's the point where you start makes the mode of the scale, and then it sounds different. But you need to learn it in relation to the root note. That's the main thing. So that was a really simple method how you learn the scales by intervals with a major and minor pentatonics, and embed it in the 3 main minor or major modes which are available. Of course, there are more than only these 3, but if you don't understand it with 3, with the basic ones, you have no chance with the other ones. But the method is always the same. You have a root note, a related interval to the root, and then you just need to know the numbers by heart. Yeah, folks, I know many of you don't like theory so much, but at a certain point of playing development, it's needed to learn this stuff. And the step from playing just pentatonics to understanding scales and modes is a huge step. Like if you want to learn pentatonics, it's this difficulty. If you want to learn modes and scales, it's this difficulty, or even more. So, but this is probably my method is a little bit more brainy type at the beginning, because you need to deal with these numbers. But once you have these numbers by heart, then it's really easy and you get totally free on the fretboard. I can promise you that with my name. Yeah. But as I said, I didn't talk about more advanced modes like, I don't know, harmonic minor, melodic minor, Dorian, flat 9, Phrygian, Phrygian natural 3, stuff like that. But the system is always the same. You have the intervals, the basic scale or interval, and then you just adapt the new one with the number or with the interval, and then you just know where it is. It's pretty, I mean, once you have it together, it's really simple. And there are not so many available. I have a document, 2 documents. I have one about this lesson. It's available in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. Join there. Anyway, it's cool. We're getting a small community there, and you can join it. And you can download the document to this lesson. But there's also a free one on my articles page. Link is also in the description. And there you see the whole theoretical background of interval scales and also all scales summed up with the numbers. And yeah, just read it. It's a bit complicated, but I really put things together on 3 pages that you can understand how everything works, where it comes from, and with that document you have the full thing to learn scales and modes on the fretboard, and from the view from a guitarist, because it's not the same. I'm a pianist as well, and piano it's way easier because somehow you have a visual thing, because every scale looks different, and you can keep the visual in by heart. But on guitar it's better to know the numbers and the intervals. Trust me on that. I tried the other thing, it didn't work for me. Yeah, one more to say. Make sure you subscribe to my channel to get more information about modes and scale. Hit the notification bell, also join my guitar talks, which are coming soon, and also the other tutorials. And that's, follow me on Instagram, Spotify, write me a review on Google Maps. HPCrazy Guitar Academy would be cool. And that's more or less what me and Dr. Pink wanted to say. See you.